wish to study in Canada? If so, you can apply for a study permit to Canada. It is important to note that a study permit is necessary and a requirement for some foreign nationals. However, some foreign nationals do not require a study permit. In this video, I will explain who needs a study permit and who does not, how to start the process of obtaining a study permit, and much more. There are some necessary steps that one must take before applying for a study permit in Canada, yet there are some foreign nationals that do not require a study permit whatsoever. If you fall under any of the following categories, you are not required to obtain a study permit in Canada. If you plan on studying in a short-term course or program, if the course or program that you plan on attending is 6 months or less, then you are not required to obtain a study permit. If you are a foreign representative to Canada, accredited by Global Affairs Canada, also known as GAC, if you are a member of a foreign armed forces, if you are a foreign national who is a registered Indian in Canada, conclusively, if you do not fall under one of these categories, then you do not need a study permit to study in Canada. There are many eligibility requirements in order to study in Canada and to apply for a study permit, and I will explain the necessary components that you need in order to proceed with the application process. You will need these components in order to study in Canada. You must have been accepted into a designated learning institution in Canada. You must prove and demonstrate that you have enough funds in order to pay for your tuition fees, living expenses for yourself and any family members that accompany you, and the return transportation for yourself and any family members that are accompanying you. You must be a law-abiding citizen with no criminal record and not be a risk to the safety and security of Canadians and its permanent residents. You must be in good health and willing to complete a medical examination. And lastly, you must prove to the immigration officer that you intend on leaving Canada at the end of your study period. If you have all of these requirements, then you are definitely on the right track. Under any circumstance, if you are unclear whether or not your educational institution falls under the designated learning institutions, I will include some examples from Ontario for reference. For instance, Niagara College Canada, University of Guelph, and the University of Toronto. Keep in mind, the designated learning institution does not always fall under a college or university. There are many institutions that specialize in specific trades or careers. If you are still unclear whether or not your educational institution falls under the designated learning institutions, then I would recommend going onto the government's website and looking at the designated learning institution list. It is extremely important to receive an acceptance letter from one of the educational institutions on the designated learning institution list prior to applying for a study permit in Canada. Once you receive your study permit, it is extremely important for you to understand the terms and conditions of the study permit. Once you receive your study permit, the terms and conditions will tell you the educational level that you are permitted to study at, that you must remain enrolled in a designated learning institution, that you must continue making progress towards the completion of your program if you are allowed to work in Canada, whether you need to report for medical examination, if your travel within Canada is restricted, and when you must exit Canada. It is extremely important to note that if your circumstances change, then you must apply to change the conditions of your study permit. If you believe that you are eligible for a study permit, please feel free to contact us. At Akrami & Associates, we have helped many of our clients with several different immigration matters, and we have helped many of our clients gain study permits in order to study within Canada. With Akrami & Associates, there's always a way.